And takes away.
Okay, this is the first time we're doing this in a while.
Yeah, hello everyone.
Yeah. It's not for lack of having read a ton or anything either. It's more just we just haven't had the chance to record it.
Yeah, it's like we started to do this like a couple of times, or we were planning to do this a couple of times, and just like shit happens.
Yeah.
Like we said, we have to. There are certain circumstances that have to happen before we can do one of these things, and it feels really bad because this is a requested comic. We're doing this today.
Yes. This was much like Night Fighter, one where we both had to sit down and read it. And make the time for it. Yeah, we had zero knowledge of this going in. So.
Oh yeah, and so it's actually a lot worse that it took us this long to do it because I'm sure the guy wasn't waiting with bated breath, but I'm kind of wondering if he's still going to be interested when we send him the link.
Yeah.
But yes,
yeah, so
Shadowbinders today.
Yeah, which it did take. Which this was also a longer read than Night Fighter because we were both pretty much able to knock out Night Fighter about one night because it's not really that long yet. Shadowbinders is at a pretty healthy length.
It's also that it's not that just that it's not long. It's just that there was a lot of action, so it sort of blazed. So it was kind of fluffy.
True. I mean, it was also still just barely over 100 pages, I think.
Yeah. Shadowbinders is just a breath away from 400 pages. It's at 399 for the moment, and there's a lot more stuff that happens in it.
Yeah, granted, it's 399 with some filler stuff and all that, but still.
Yeah, still, it's quite a bit.
So yeah, do you want to introduce Shadowbinders?
Oh yeah. Shadowbinders is a sort of fantasy steampunk comic, or fantasy steampunk. That's what it says right there. Well, it says magical steam fantasy. Okay, I'm gonna whatever. Anyway, we have a modern, typical high school girl named Mia, who is given a ring from her grandmother, a sort of antique ring, which, when put on her finger, transports her to a magical world of air pirates, sorcery, airships, princesses and magical kingdoms, and a particularly somewhat charming rogue named Crimson Wren.
Yeah, to the Avatar.
Say again?
I said only that last part couldn't be applied to the Avatar world.
Well, there are no sky pirates in Avatar.
Yeah, but well, I mean, just specifically with the description you were giving, you didn't say anything about sky pirates. You were just saying a magical world with airships and I don't know, a few other things. I forget exactly what it was, but yeah, it was just sounding like Avatar to me.
Yeah.
Totally joking.
Wait, do you mean like Aang or Korra? Because Korra had airships a lot more than Aang did. Aang didn't.
I was kind of just saying both together.
Yeah. Korra is more steampunky too, because it's set in the 1920s.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, point at Shadowbinders.
Yes, Shadowbinders. This was requested to the artist and creator requested us to do a podcast of this a while back, and
yeah, it was around the same time as Night Fighter. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I think we got those two emails the exact same day.
Yeah, which we will be doing more requests and hopefully on a sooner schedule. It's just had to get to that point and all.
Yeah. Because I do like doing requests. I'm like, it does kind of mean something when someone asks us to do this, and someone does ask us for our opinion.
Yeah.
It's like, aw. So yeah, I guess that's the little synopsis we have. This ring is continuously transporting Mia from the fantasy world to the real world to the fantasy world, and her interactions between the two.
Yeah, it's basically kind of Inuyasha if you ever saw Earth, modern Earth.
Yeah, that's something that I kept thinking about Inuyasha 2 and then hating myself because. We have a couple of problems with this comic, but it's nowhere near as we fucking hated Inuyasha.
Yeah.
I caught Inuyasha on TV for the first time in a long time, in a couple of nights ago, and I was genuinely so depressed watching it.
Yeah.
Like, although there are a couple of comparisons which we're probably going to make besides just the alternate world thing, but yeah, that's kind of our premise here, and there's quite a few things we can say about it.
Yeah, it's not a very new premise, but it does do some interesting things with it.
Oh yeah. Like should we just go into the first point?
I'd say so. I think we pretty much handled what.
Do you want to bring up that thing about the forum? Because I wanted to.
I guess it couldn't hurt.
I just want to know. I want to know if he responds. I want to,
Okay, this seems like a reach, but it bears mentioning. Okay, alright, the artist for the comic. Do you pronounce that Tom or Thom?
Hang on. I think it's Tom.
Yeah, it's what I think. It's just, I don't know. My point is, the name, Tom, I guess, I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Pratt, rhymes with, it was like, on the Watch forums, there was an admin or something named, who had the username Tom Cat. I'm just wondering if maybe that's, because they rhyme and all in kind of similar circles. I don't know if it's the same person or not. I would assume not, but I just thought it was interesting.
Yeah, because like when you mentioned that, like I think I knew this guy on the Watch forums, and then you had to look up the name again. I'm like, that if it is the same guy, that's actually kind of neat.
Yeah, I'm guessing not because I couldn't find anything with the two names relating to each other. But we will see, I guess.
No, if it is like we're like always, we're going to send this to the. Well, like we would with Night Fighter, we're sending this to the crew. We're like replying with this to the people who requested it. But if it is, I'm curious to know. Like maybe it is the same guy.
Yeah.
But first major point, which stood out to us immediately on like a positive for the comic is in a way the artwork.
Oh, actually relating to that, we should probably go ahead and mention we're doing this one a little bit differently from most.
Oh, right.
Yeah, instead of just doing positive by negative, we decided to instead, since we haven't actually talked about our opinions on this comic too much, besides just like some generalities, to instead just talk about point by point. Yeah.
Just because we differ a little bit on our opinions for this one. For a lot of the others, like Alguna Shive or Watch or stuff that we have been reading for a long time, we were able to come to a very good like general consensus.
Yeah, well, this one we don't. This is how much we disagree or whatever. It's just something we haven't really discussed that much, so there might be a bit more room for debate this way. Yeah. Which I'm kind of curious to see, like, get all Siskel and Ebert and shit. But,
yeah. The original, a major point in favor, there we go. Artwork. Fucking amazing. The scenery and the world it creates is really astounding. I think it's almost... Thus far, we've seen one or two, at least one webcomic that does better scenery and better world building. But so far, nothing has even come close to this level of expertise in scenery.
Nothing.
Martin?
Scenery, like the. Yeah.
Okay. Try talking again.
Yeah. Talking. Yeah. So my computer's like, of course, lighting up here.
Fuck. Okay, shit. Okay, wait, I can't, damn. Okay, we're not looking at okay, we're gonna have to bump off one of our problems with the comic, because, shit. Yeah.
To be fair, I can't really put the blame on that, because of the fact that I don't even have that site open right now.
No, I can, and I think that's the reason Skype was giving us problems. Okay. We have to bump up one of the complaints we had about the comic, because we're not browsing through the pages anymore, and there's a reason for that.
Yeah, which basically amounts to, I don't know what it is about the site, but it does. It is seriously a chore on your computer to read it.
Yeah, something about the site like makes the computer like chug a lot. I don't know what it is.
It seems like there's an overabundance of flash ads or something.
No, I have the flash ads blocked. I always have them blocked, but like every time. But now going to that site, like I have I'm recording this. I have Skype open so Martin can weigh in. I have Manga Studio open so I can draw. Like, I cannot do something about the site just sucks up memory. Like, that's why Martin was glitching out for a second.
Yeah, which it gets bad enough that I actually had to install, since Firefox removed the option to just do this natively for some reason. I had to install something to block Flash just so I didn't have to keep Task Manager opening and ending Flash every few just to keep it running.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell it is about that site, but it sucks up data. It sucks up memory on the page. So, yeah, when we talk about how good the artwork is, I'm afraid you're going to have to take our word for it at this point.
Yeah.
Because it's not that you can't surf it. It's just that I cannot have that open and Skype and Mega Studio and live stream
and
open.
live stream. Yeah.
Yeah. Just holy shit.
So, which we were intending to bring that up later, but it just seemed like a good place for it.
I kind of have to bring it up now because now I can't actually surf the site.
Yeah.
I have to close. I had to close. I'm closing Firefox entirely.
Yeah. Which that might complicate the drawing, but whatever.
Yeah. I can't go back to the site to get reference. I'm doing this for memory, boys. Enjoy it. Yeah. I'm sorry if the characters come out off model, but this is the best I can do.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe you should have prepared for this by saving images of them at the start or something.
If you want to save some and send them to me, that'd be fine for me. But yeah, that probably would have been prudent.
Yeah. I'd probably get a. Let's see. Yeah, I could probably just get a URL straight to a page or something. That'd probably avoid the problem.
Yeah, it probably would. But yeah, like we were saying before, okay. I had to cut off the artwork.
As I said before, we're very professional.
Of course we are. Yeah, but yeah, the artwork for the scenery and for the world is amazing.
Yes. And also relating to that, not just how I'm bringing it up because it's very similarly related. A lot of the panel structure.
Oh yeah, that's true. The panel. There were a couple of scenes where where we were seeing how they put the panels to. It's harder than you think, guys. People keep saying oh, you just put this panel and this panel and this panel, but no, you can be really creative and really cool, and this can do it at times. It's really good.
Yeah. Even just back up a little bit. Even just going to grab this one URL for a page off the front page of the site tells my computer to freeze up for a minute.
Yeah.
Which I have live stream open and all that in the middle of this myself, but still. Plus, I'm running on XP.
Yeah, true. Yeah. I forgot what I was gonna say.
Yeah, the panel structure and stuff is very good, and it does very creative things with it.
Oh yeah, there's a panel there's a page which we can't bring up now of Rin of the rogue, the dashing rogue, saving Mia from a tentacle monster. But he sort of he jumps around between the panels. The panels he's so agile the panels can't contain him. Again, you're gonna have to take my fucking word for this.
Yeah. It's a really nice effect, and it really communicates motion very well.
Oh yeah, it's great. So yeah, we really just love the. Yeah, it's really nice to see that sort of thing be taken into.
Honestly, it occurs to me. No, I'd have to bring this up later. You're probably thinking the same thing I am. I kind of started wondering about the same thing, but once you brought that back up. Yeah.
But yeah. We have some opportunities in the future to do it too, but yeah, right. The comics, the pages, world looks incredible, really great, and I'm not even that big a fan of steampunk in general.
Yeah, same here. It's really not my genre. I can't really. The closest I can think of to something where I really got into that really has steampunk as a thing is I just Full Alchemist, but at the same time, it's a lot of the time it's just straight up sci-fi.
That's kind of technically steampunk is science fiction.
Well, yeah, but I mean, more it like has like the level of complexity of some of the stuff going on with it seems very futuristic as opposed to having a weird straddling line like old timey kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to come out and say this. That's one problem I have with steampunk in general is that I do really love science fiction, but the thing is like steampunk is a lot more broad than I think a lot of people are using it for.
Yeah,
like it's about a reinterpretation of the past, and so you can actually have really complex futuristic stuff in a past setting. It's just yeah. So it's just like sometimes they're really lazy or brainless about it, and they're kind of only doing it for kind of the popularized aesthetic, which is what I generally have a problem with.
Yeah, that's kind of what I mean with the Fallen Optimist thing. Is like using like steampunk cyborg.
yeah. It's basically the premise: steampunk cyborg.
Yeah, in particular with like the spider robot thing.
Oh fuck! Or that one guy from the first anime who had like half his face blown off.
Yeah. I guess to be fair, a lot of this stuff actually would not let that have place in Shadowbinders.
Well, yeah, but Shadowbinders is Steampunk Fantasy, so they're able to get away with it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah.
I like how I went through digging up a URL to a specific page with her, and then just used.
Oh wait, hang on. I actually have to open up AIM again.
Okay. It's cool.
Yeah. But yeah, Shadowbinders like the popularized steampunk aesthetic, I do find generally annoying, but I do really love. There are still some images that like stuff that Shadowbinders does that I get geeky about, like airships, like airships, like not blimps, but like boats that are flying. That's something that in general, like every time I see it, I always think it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, but Shadowbinders also just has very good designs for that kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
like even just in even just little things, like even Mia's room right there. That's not even one of like the steampunk settings, but the place still just has like a lot of color and life to it.
Yeah. Like people might think that it's just suburbia, it's just like a normal bedroom, but no, there are so many little touches that you can give to make it so much better.
Yeah.
Metaphorically making the house into a home.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. This helps a lot.
Yeah, I wish I'd gotten in time for you to draw in that dress.
Oh yeah, I love the way she looks in that dress. I love. You can't see it in this page, but underneath the dress, she has like her sneakers.
Yeah,
it looks really cool.
Yeah, I want that dress to sit around.
Yeah, it's good. But yeah, the world is really amazing. But by the same token, that we said the artwork on the world is amazing, but there are some problems with the artwork was also a major problem in a different way.
Yeah, this has been this has been getting better.
Yeah, a little bit, especially in the expressions.
Yeah, I don't know. Even then, like there are some other cases, but a lot of the designs of the people are very samey.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I realize like we can't really judge those like on our own thoughts. We're only kind of recently starting to move into having like unique faces and stuff. But it's a little bit more jarring now, more realistic looking comic to begin with.
Yeah. It's more professionally drawn, so it's really distracting that a lot of the characters basically look like twins of each other.
Yeah, it's not like you can't tell the difference between two people right next to each other. It's just like both people in this scene have probably also popped up somewhere else as other people. And
that's and it's not just random characters too, because this was one of my bigger complaints about the comic when it first started. A lot of the designs are very similar in very distracting ways, because okay, the plot is she's going back and forth between the real world and the fantasy world, but when she's in the real world, we see that she has a little brother, and she has like there's a guy in her school who she has a crush on, who's basically one of those blonde, no personality kind of love interest.
Yeah.
You could have them for both a male protagonist and a female protagonist. If it's for a female protagonist, his name is always Flash. If it's for what's the typical name for when it's for a male protagonist?
Maybe, I don't know. Brittany tends to be more kind of the name of like a Libby sort.
Oh yeah, that's true. But yeah, this guy's Flash.
Yeah, pretty much. Like his name's Chris. Like we'll throw that out there. We're trying to be a little bit more attentive with the names.
I'm more attentive with the names for everyone else. For this guy, his name is Flash. I don't care if they say his name is Chris. It's really Flash.
Yeah. I just wanted to throw it out there just as like, yeah, we aren't doing that wrong on purpose. We are doing that wrong on purpose.
Yeah. But So when she goes to the fantasy world, she finds out that the pirates that she winds up hanging out with, kind of these lovable rogues, they have like a little boy on their ship, and the boy looks so like fucking identical to her little brother in the real world. And they also have this kind of gadgeteer, this kind of like guy who fixes the engine and is really smart, who looks like the fucking boyfriend.
Yeah.
And it was distracting the shit out of me, because as soon as I saw that, my brain immediately went, oh, they're going to do the Wizard of Oz thing, where she goes to the fantasy world, and it's like, and you were there, and you were there, and you were there. But I kept waiting for it to happen, but it never did.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you have the, and then you also just have, like, characters within just the one given fantasy world who look the same. Like, Rin and, what is his name? The
Marquis.
Yeah, the Marquis. Like, the two of them, like, they kind of moved away from this in more recent pages. Like, well, I'll back up on that in a second. But yeah, it's like the two of them just, like, I at first was wondering, like, are these two supposed to be, like, related or, like, evil twins or something?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they looked the same.
With, like, there was a slightly different color palette.
Yeah.
In general...
Like they've moved away from that a bit more recently. Like, lately, the Marquis, like, seems to be taller, kind of wears a different outfit, wears his hair a little differently. But...
Yeah, but in general, it's really distracting, because, like, this isn't just with these small amount of characters. There's another character, the Marquis is the villain, by the way.
Yeah.
Who and on his team, there's another, like, there's a blonde chick who is basically looks identical to Mia.
Yeah, they even have, like, the same haircut.
It's blonde Mia with a slightly different haircut. And you're wondering, like, okay, is this, like, the fantasy universe equivalent of Mia? Like, you're always... Every time there's a character similarity like that, it immediately takes you out of the... It immediately took us out of the book, because we kept wondering, like, is this guy related? Is this guy related? It's
yeah. Which, also, to be fair on the, what's his name, Tristan?
Yeah, that was it, Tristan.
Yeah.
Blonde. That's
to be fair on him, in more recent pages, he has been getting bulkier.
That's something.
Yeah, like, he has been looking more distinct, but still, he does look, like, it's just, at first, just drawing two blonde, kind of beefy guys, they just looked exactly the same.
Yeah. Again, it was just really distracting. And there's another scene, like when I was archive binging, like, trying to figure out what the characters' names were, because we're really bad about that, but...
We knew most of them, we just wanted to make sure on some specifics.
Yeah, but when I was looking through those, like, I found a scene where there's a random soldier in the fantasy world, like, shooting off a gun, and, like, she's Mia's mom from the real world.
Yeah, it's like the hair's a different color, that's it. It's like same haircut, same, like, kind of angular face, it's just... Yeah.
It's so jarring. It's, oh, man. Yeah.
I wish I could bring up a picture of Mia's mom, just because there's somebody she immediately makes me think of.
It's Miss Harshwinny.
Yeah.
From My Little Pony.
Yeah, it's just like she's a human version of her. She has, like, the same face, same haircut.
Oh, fuck it. Bring up a picture of her. I want to draw her next.
Yeah.
Mr. the Dragon, we are not amused. I can't even do the voice. I'm not, like, plus budgety enough. But yeah,
Here we go.
Also, while we're on the subject, I feel really bad saying about this, because this has gotten really better, but for the first couple of chapters of the comic, like, they were... the expressions on the characters were terrible.
Yeah, I understand what they were going for. They were kind of going for, like, the sort of more... They were kind of going for a realistic, yet, like, still overly animated and goofy kind of way of doing it. And a lot of it just had this weird, like... I don't even know how to describe it. It's
it was simultaneously way too exaggerated and also completely lifeless.
Yeah.
It looked like they were wearing masks.
Yeah, it was really like in the uncanny valley because it's like whenever Mia was like, okay, like whenever Mia was like grinning or something, for instance, it's like the middle part of her face would be like jutting out unconnected to the rest of it, and like she'd be wearing like a ridiculously huge grin that, like didn't fit on her face.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. It did not work.
As I said, look at this most recent page. Like I really like the expressions here. Like they're a lot more. What are you saying?
They feel alive.
Yeah. Like they still have that same sort of style to them. It's just they're getting better at doing it.
Oh yeah. So like I said, like that's if you start reading it and that bothers you, that's one aspect that does definitely get better. I do not think the character like sameness does slightly get better, but I think they sort of need like a big overhaul on that because it is
Yeah.
I still find it distracting as fuck.
And even beyond that, a lot of the character design just isn't very good.
No. Oh shit. Oh god. Like a lot of the character designs are really bad. I mean, not just like almost kind of ugly-ish. Like
what's his name? Black Sid.
Was that Tim Burton's bad girl from No More Heroes as brought to us by Tim Burton? Is that her?
I know. I saw about the bald guy.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, a lot of in particular, the villains are very badly. Bring up a picture of some of the bad guys. In particular, the villains are really badly designed. It's in a sort of a goofy, cartoony kind of way, almost like. Oh, he's the villain. He's got to have a goofy suit or something. I feel really. Oh fuck, that was mean spirited, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh god, I'm so sorry.
You're a jerk.
Aww. But yeah. Shit. But yeah, the carrot. Oh, there it is. Thank you.
Oh no, that was the thing with the mom. I'm looking for the other thing.
Yeah, still, look at that. That's Miss Harshwinny. That's hilarious. Hang on, I'm gonna bring up some.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to find a picture of Black Sid, but not the easiest site to navigate for reasons we already mentioned.
Yeah, it really is. Like, look at that. Same face.
Yeah.
Really,
same face. Yeah, same face, same hair tone.
I'm not even really mad. I actually really like it.
Yeah.
Like we need to make in our own comics. We need to make like Miss Stickset really harsh Winnie or something.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I had not figured there would be porn of her. But yeah. Christ. Yeah. I'm drawing her mom.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, yeah, we're kind of honed up on the character designs up until we did a picture of one of them.
Yeah. No, like I said, I didn't mind her mom so much, but it's not even.
Yeah, I like her mom's design. I just find it funny.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Now here, this guy's design is bad though. Here you go.
Okay. Got one. Okay. Yeah, the villains almost feel really lazy, or just not even really lazy, but kind of boring and cliched. Yeah. Kind of like almost.
Oh wait, sweet. No, go ahead.
Cookie cutter-ish.
Yeah, it's like this guy. I swear I've seen this exact same guy in other stuff before.
Yeah, and if they're not cookie cutter-ish, sometimes they're just like almost kind of ugly, like almost kind of like not fun to look at. Or there's this one girl. Hang on, I can probably just make my point just by bringing up a picture of fucking Bad Girl.
Bad Girl's not goth. Bring up Alice or Margaret. It's like it. Yeah, it's like if you played No More Heroes and No More Heroes 2, it's Bad Girl meets Margaret.
Yeah. Bad Girl is like, she's basically this chick, Bad Girl. She's got like the thick mascara which oddly is not. Holy shit, there's a lot of fan. Oh, here we go. You got like the mascara and sort of like the cutesy dress, but it's in black and she has dyed black hair and it feels like really out of place and really ugly to look at. Like as soon as that character popped up, I'm like, what the fuck is this?
And she's in the fantasy world, not the Earth, or not on Earth.
Yeah, on Earth she would kind of work, but no, she's in the fantasy world.
Yeah, and there are other things about that character I don't want to complain about. We'll get to that.
Yeah, she just feels out of place.
Also, backing up to the whole fantasy counterpart thing. See, there you go. There's this part, which is just like, is that a different fantasy? I mean, yeah, obviously that kind of more obviously is some sort of fantasy counterpart thing to Mia or something like that. But it just confuses the matter further whenever you're actually doing something like that.
I wait. Can you say that again?
It was that here. It was that last page I sent.
Wait.
Just that dream she had with like the short hair and stuff.
Oh yeah. Huh. Yeah, that's confusing. Because that was what I was thinking of, like when my mind originally went to the Wizard of Oz thing. That's kind of just what I was immediately. That's kind of what was my main problem with, like, well, are they going to do a fantasy world thing? Because, like, okay, her little brother and the boyfriend are in the universe, but, like, where's her grandmother? Where's her mom? Where's the bully? Where are her girlfriends? You know, like, again, I was just so distracted by all of this. And we keep bringing this up, but it's a big issue. But it's a big problem with the comic. But I feel it's a big problem with the comic because character design is very, very important for a visual medium, especially for comic books.
Yeah. Which the distinguishing the characters' faces and stuff has gotten better, but I don't. It's hard to say on the design because they haven't really introduced anyone new in a while. Like one or two people, but.
No, they really haven't. It's just I remain very unimpressed with the design. I think it's a very big misstep because it is a very important aspect for comics, I think.
Yeah.
Which and it really does feel sad given like how good the world is and how good the world is drawn, because the world still looks amazing. Yeah,
which, to be fair, this is still pretty, like, to be fair, the whole faces being too similar to each other thing does still certainly happen. Like, the page of that soldier who just looks like... Oh, wait, did we actually show it during the stream of the soldier who just looked like her mom?
No, that was before the stream.
Okay, well,
at one point,
we mentioned it.
At one point, there's, like, a scene of, like, the soldier fighting, and the soldier is identical to her mom, just with a different haircut.
Yeah, and and this wasn't actually all that long ago. This was only about 50 pages ago.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really frustrating.
As I said, it's a problem they're moving past, but it hasn't entirely happened yet.
No. But yeah, and I think that's all we got to say on that one. Do you want to move on to the next point?
I do wonder if we should bring up Winston or not.
Oh, fuck, no, we gotta bring up Winston. Okay, I need a picture, shit.
Okay, he's right. He'd be easy to do because he's right on the site banner. Do me a second.
Yeah. Okay, when she goes to the fantasy world, she meets, the people on the ship. There's Ren, who's like the dashing rogue captain. There's him. Yeah, it's him. There's the Tristan, the gadgeteer. There's a girl named Elena. I think it's Elena, but there's the little boy Andrew, and then there's this thing. It's like some sort of weird, like, you can't see it, but it's got like kind of a pet body, and it's got a tie, and it's got this big goofy grin, and like all these really humorous, exaggerated expressions. Yeah, and you're thinking like, this is entirely out of place.
Yeah, it's really weird because he's not even shaded like the rest of the scenes are.
It's almost like, did anyone ever read Bone? Any of you guys out there, where like you have this fantasy Tolkien-esque world, and then you have like these sort of almost Scrooge McDuckish cartoon characters hanging out there. It's kind of like that. It's like completely out of place, except while in Bone that was kind of the plot. This is just out of nowhere.
Yeah, and he's the first of the fantasy world you see, so it kind of misleads you to think it's all going to look like that.
Yeah, it's a good point, because it's like as soon as she lands there, it's like not that soon afterward that she meets this guy.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
Yeah, as I said, it wouldn't be... The design itself would be fine, it's just like, it's the way he's like shaded and stuff, he just doesn't fit the rest of the comic's aesthetics.
No, it honestly kind of feels like, okay, like how in Frozen, like as soon as you saw that fucking snowman, you're like, okay, somebody in marketing wrote this up so that they'll have something like some sort of cute thing to sell toys. It feels like that.
Yeah. Which, given there is merchandise of it, maybe that stays.
Maybe so, but Yeah, it was just seriously like, what? Who the fuck put this thing in? And like like some of the designs, it's sort of like there's kind of like this sort of like obnoxious silliness to the design. Like you just know if this thing could talk, it would have a voice like Iago from Aladdin, like Gilbert Gottfried voice, or Dom DeLuise voice, or some other like, or Ed Wynn, or some other like really wacky, silly cartoon voice.
Yeah.
It's just, and he tells like, it seems like I want to say he tells a lot of like really awkward, unfunny jokes, but I can't recall any offhand.
He doesn't really tend to like tell very many jokes or anything, but he is kind of like he likes to like screw with people, and, like provoke people and stuff.
Yeah.
Like he's kind of a trickster.
I guess it's just what the hell? This is completely
it's like they do kind of try to like work in how weird he is. Like they kind of mention like nobody really knows what he is or anything. He's not normal to this world, but it still just feels weird.
It really does. It's like, what the hell is with this thing? Like I'm okay with non-standard character design. I think it's like kind of a neat. I think it's kind of neat when you have like one character who's like completely out of place, but
I think a lot of it would be like smoothed over if he's at least colored and shaded like everyone else is, but he's not.
No, he's not. Or if he were written better, because like I said, when he's written better, if he wasn't as goofy as he is, as he just feels out of place.
Like actually we're doing a pretty good job of avoiding spoilers on this one, but
we are. Well, we can discuss that when we get to plot, because there's a reason for that.
Well, I was just to say, like, we can talk more about that whenever we actually get the plot and stuff. There was something I was doing, like, bringing up in particular about him, but it can wait.
Yeah, okay. Shit. Yeah, so do we go into characters then, or different aspect of characters?
Yeah. Okay, which actually I guess would be a perfectly fine segue.
Yeah. So that I tried to arrange the outline so that like we could segue from one point to another really easily. Like we start out on the artwork for the world, and then we go into the artwork for the characters, and now we go into like the way the characters are written.
Yeah.
Which is not great.
Yeah. This is a problem that has been named better.
Yeah. For the first couple of chapters of the comic, this is really fucking bad. Oh my god. But for the first couple of chapters of the comic, like nobody really had a character.
Yeah, it's about the most you get like anyone's personality out of is like Ren is kind of a douche.
Yeah, it's like I've been describing Ren as kind of like the lovable rogue, but that's kind of just like the character type he is, like in terms of plot. In terms of actual character, he's kind of more like a lovable douchebag.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, intentionally a douchebag. Like, he's kind of more like, he's less Han Solo and more kind of like Sam Malone from Cheers. You know, like, he's telling all these cheesy pickup lines and people are rolling their eyes, but at the same point, he's still kind of a nice guy.
Yeah, and
he's still, like, he's not like he's always trying to hit on women, but he's not really a pervert.
Yeah. Which... I had to even bring it up because it's multiple times over. I've had to do it just to mention it. I don't really get Winston's motivations, and I'll try to keep this without spoilers. That scene where he like disobeys, or he's asked about keeping Mia away from Ren for a bit. It's like it doesn't really seem to make sense for him to do that, on any level.
I don't recall this.
The scene with the bra, like. He seems to do it just because the plot demanded it.
Yeah, that was true. Yeah, that was silly. Oh, fuck, this is as good as we're gonna get. If you want to criticize our artwork, feel free. I know it's not exactly the best.
Yeah, you shouldn't have crossed your arms.
I know. I can't do crossed arms that well. Big fucking mistake on my part.
Yeah.
I'm leaving myself open for criticism, but whatever.
We're certainly not to deny we have flaws.
we're not fucking Shakespeare, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
What was I saying? Oh, right. Okay, so on the characters then. Yeah, there is this big issue with them where it's like, you don't really get much of a sense for like what they're like early on.
Yeah, like their jobs on the ship. Rin is the captain, Tristan is the gadgeteer, Andrew is just cuddly little boy. Really, Andrew's main focus is just to make Ren, to show that Ren isn't like that bad of a guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Like Mia, she's vaguely an outcast.
Yeah, not really. I mean, she has her girl. She has these girlfriends who she's always hanging out with.
Exactly. That's like vaguely. It's like, yeah, she gets bullied by like one particular person who seems to not have any other hobbies. And
yeah, did Diamond Tiara and the other Libbies? So do they do anything besides just bully people?
Yeah.
Does Diamond Tiara ever do? I can't see what she's wearing, so I'm just putting her in a skirt. Like, do they have any fucking hobbies?
Yeah.
Oh God, awful. I might just have to delete this one.
Yeah. We'll fix it in post, people.
I don't know how much we can save this. We're gonna have to really work some magic on this one.
Hit abort and do Ren instead.
Yeah, that's right, Ren.
Just do her face. I like how the face. Just do the face.
Yeah, what the hell? I only want to do the expression anyway. Can you give me a picture of Ren?
Sure.
I'm sorry to have to keep you doing this. Shit, what were we talking about?
Yeah, I talked about the characters, how they're not really very distinguishable. Like, Chris. I can't tell you anything about him other than the fact that he's blonde and his name is Chris. Like,
and also his name is Flash.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the whole fucking thing. It's like, nobody really had that. Like, this has only been moderately improved. Like, nobody really has a personality on this. Like, in this world, like Mia, kind of, you can tell she's sort of a bookworm and she's picked on a lot, but that's kind of it.
Yeah, she's kind of stepping more into she's kind of stepping more into having a more particular kind of personality, and some of the early pages do kind of show some, like, give you a basic idea of where they're going with her character. It just like,
yeah,
they're still, yeah, you still don't really get that much of a feel of like what she's like.
Yeah, there was setup. Yeah, like, it's just, yeah, you know what they do and what they are doing. It's just, if you actually met them and tried to have a conversation with them, you would have no idea what they would say.
Yeah.
You have no idea what their personalities are. That's kind of the problem. And they fixed. They did remedy that with the only, like, in the first part of the comic, the only person who really had any personality was Ren, who, like we said, was this kind of lovable douchebag. And later in the comic, we start to get a better feel about Mia.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's just like good guys, bad guys, and that's kind of it.
Oh yeah, like only one of the villains really has any sort of defined personality at all.
Yeah.
And it's not the main ones.
No. Yeah, the villains are not that. The villains are not very well written. They're not compelling. We don't get any sort of sense of plot for them, and like they're just boring. And the heroes are boring. Like, we start to get a little bit of a sense of, like, to their credit, like, Ren and Mia are still the only ones who have any kind of personality. But toward the end of as it went along, they were apparently trying to give some personality.
Yeah, I think we're starting to get a feel for Elena.
Yeah, Elena and Tristan are falling in love, but like, we don't really get any sort of personality sense of like what they're like. So when they start making out and start having like this really big kiss, I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, well, since then we kind of got into details on Elena, like what her backstory is, why she's with them, like what the appeal of being with them is for her. Like, we're at least starting to get something out of her. Tristan, not really. He's Ren's best friend that we never really see any of it.
Yeah.
As a kid, he had glasses, and now he doesn't. So apparently, there's laser eye surgery in this world.
Yeah. That was like I brought up when I was reading it. It's just like, okay, so it's like, yeah, he had glasses as a kid. So either this fantasy world has either laser eye surgery or contact lenses.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that fact. But yeah, God.
I should have saved this and tell her like noob Cybot.
My God.
And see, that's why we're not really judging that much on the face thing, because you know what, art's hard.
Yeah, it's hard.
But yeah. So I don't know. Do you have much else in particular to say about the characters? I think we can. Wait, actually, yeah. Should bring up more on the Earth stuff.
Well, no, I wanted to bring up something on the Earth stuff in a moment, but and the little boy Ren, like we said, his only real purpose with the group is to kind of show that Ren is a little bit of a nicer character, like that he's not a bad guy.
Yeah, they give it in some moments and stuff. I can't really like. He's a nice kid. That's kind of the extent of his personality.
There's a scene where Ren gives him money to buy some candy, and instead he buys candy for some local street urchins. Yeah, but it's a nice scene. I do appreciate the effort, but it's not like I still don't know anything about this kid.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
It's one of those stories where
good picture.
It's driven.
Thanks.
What?
Good picture, thanks.
Yeah. Actually, I noticed looking at that, just between the banner on the site and that, Ren's design is actually really inconsistent.
Really?
Yeah. Like, his haircut's, like, completely different in those two pictures. Like, I did up the banner I was talking about. But, what was I saying? Oh, right, yeah, it's like, it's one of those stories that's more driven by events than by the people. Like,
yeah. So the characters are just very badly done.
Yeah, which...
And again, the villains really do suck. You don't care about the villains. Honestly, like, I'm glad Martin brought this up, because, like, I was realizing in typing this that the only characters that really do have more of a personality are the ones in the real world.
Yeah.
And honestly, we get a better feeling of what Mia is like in the real world. Like, the only first time I really got a sense of, like, what the character is like is when she's in the library when she's in a library looking up information, and she's thinking about her grandpa.
Yeah.
Like how close they were, and I'm thinking like, oh shit, that's more character development than she's had in anywhere in the fantasy world. But in the real world, there's like her brother is a brat, and her mom is Miss Harshwinny, and I can't think of it, and her
really not seeing enough of her dad to really judge anything. Her mom. Immediate impressions on her mom seems to be that she's kind of like she's not really very nice, whatever. As you see more of her, it seems like she kind of is, like just kind of harsh.
Yeah.
Maybe just kind of stern. I don't know. She doesn't seem too bad.
Yeah.
But I did not see that much of her.
You said that you had kind of a problem with with parents that do like, you have to call me right this second.
Yeah. To be fair, once they actually posted the later pictures in that scene, showed that she wasn't really that annoyed by it.
Well, I think it's kind of acceptable given to her knowledge her kid was sick in bed.
Yeah. I guess, but it's not the only time she's done that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Does it also happen in the library scene?
Oh yeah, you're right. But yeah, there's her, there's there are the girlfriends that she hangs out with, and they're very nice, they're very funny. So yeah, like, the real-world characters are honestly a lot more complicated, and you get a better sense of their personality than you do in the fantasy world. But you're right. That honestly looks like two different people dressed in the same outfit.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Even the hair color isn't the same. It's black and then it's brown.
Yeah.
Jesus, that is bad.
Yeah.
Like this honestly just makes it so much worse.
Yeah. It's like the banner appears like it was drawn much earlier, but still, whenever you have a design like that, you try and kind of stick to it. It looks like they've really stepped far away from it.
Yeah. Oh wow, this doesn't. Yeah, really bad.
Yeah.
Honestly, I kind of like the banner. Also, I really like the banner haircut more than the normal one, more than the one in the page.
Yeah.
It seems more like in character for a rogue.
Yeah, it does. He looks too classy with the other one. Like he looks too professional.
Yeah. Rogue should have the windswept hair and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. What were we saying?
Okay. Yeah. Even then, there are some like superfluous characters in the real world you really haven't gotten any idea of. Which, to be fair, they don't really affect the plot that much, and they don't get anywhere near as much screen time as the ones in the fantasy world.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, no. I guess we can talk about that later.
Yeah. Saying like her like friends and stuff, it's just like they don't seem particularly bothered by their friend claiming she is teleported to another world, but they don't believe it. Like that's the extent of their personality.
Yeah. They're basically just there so she can have like a sort of a Greek. I don't know. Is that the meaning of the term Greek chorus?
No, Greek chorus is like an unrelated. Is like a group that's not actually involved with the plot, but is like commentating on it.
Oh, okay, never mind. But yeah, they're whatever it is that they're just kind of there so she'll have someone to voice her opinion, just so she'll have someone to play off of.
Yeah. What's I doing to say relating to that?
To the girlfriends?
No, it's just something relating to the. Oh yeah, right. What you're talking about the library thing, that does remind me of something I have also been vaguely like noticing.
Yeah.
They talk up a lot how much she loves like old like antique stuff and how much she like geeks out over it and all that, and she does do that on Earth. Like in fantasy world, she just seems kind of mildly interested.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, it's honestly, like she's freaking out over like the airship and stuff, but who wouldn't? It's just like all the little old timey stuff there, like old timey furniture or something. You would figure she'd be like all over that, given how much she's freaking out over a book, but she doesn't really seem to even notice.
Yeah, it's sort of like honestly, yeah, we really it's one of those things where like. Yeah, when you really think about it, she should not be reacting like this. Especially with they established that she's sort of a geek. I mean, like her thing is that she's kind of a sort of like an amateur history buff, but or antiquity buff. But she should like when she's asking to learn magic, she's like, maybe I should learn magic so I should fit in this world better. And then like, if you're really a geek, your reaction should be, holy shit, can you teach me magic?
Yeah. Like, I said she's had some moments of that, but it's mostly like, oh my god, this airship's so cool.
Yeah, it's like that she should be doing that way more often. If she if they're trying to make her into kind of a geek, like yeah.
I said there have been times where it's happened, like the scene where she got drunk.
Oh yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I think that pretty much more or less sums up the whole discussion of the character. Should we get into the plot?
Shit. Seems like there was one other thing, but yeah. I think let's get to the plot. I'll just derail us if it occurs to me.
Okay. We don't stick very closely to the outline anyway.
No, I guess we really don't, do we? Do we have
it's just a general guideline.
Yeah.
When we steer too far off focus, it's time to move on.
Yeah.
Okay, so with the general plot, though, essentially it amounts to the Marquis wants to overthrow like all the rival. I don't know what he wants to do.
Fuck this. Okay, the fantasy world is made up of I think 4 countries.
Yeah.
And to their credit, I do really like that they brought up the fact that in fantasy world there's always like 1 or 2 different cultures, while on Earth there's like a zillion.
Yeah.
Like, you think about like Klingon. Do you know Klingons only have 1 fighting style?
Yeah. Yeah, I was aware of that. Like, it is always just weird. Like, it is always nice whenever they touch on the fact in that one scene of like that it is a much smaller world.
Because she's explaining like, because I really love this scene. They could have just as easily just had them explain what the world was like in the fantasy world, but no, instead they had Mia explain when they're explaining to her like this, there's this country and this country and this country and this country, but instead they have like there's this country, this country and this country and this country. What's it like on your world? And then she explains her world, and we see that, and we see their reactions to our world, and I love that. I love that they actually took the time to do that.
Yeah, like whenever she's explaining like what the concept of democracy is. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That was a great touch.
Yeah.
Podcasting. Let me finish that, I think. All right. But yeah, what were we talking about?
Yeah, just the whole concept of that world, and it being explained what Earth's like and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, when they finally bring up the point about when they finally get into the plot, which is really late. Like
the comic does take a while to find a point.
Yeah, because we start off with the fact that she's traveling into this kind of fantasy world, and she's going back and forth, but like we don't actually that's kind of more like a premise. Like we don't actually get a plot or like what's happening in the fantasy world or why she has to keep going back until I want to say like 300 pages in.
Well, before that they set up stuff like that the fact that the Marquis has a plan, and like there's all this like stuff going on with the shadows and stuff, which I was expecting that to get more of a point than it did.
Yeah. Oh shit! I'll bring that up in a minute.
Yeah. And like there is stuff going on, and there are like plot details happening. And I'm feeling a lot of this will be important later. But yeah, there isn't really an aim, and the villain does have a plan. And he's kind of doing stuff, but up until about like 300 pages in, none of the heroes are at all aware of it, and they're not even interacting with it indirectly.
Yeah, which is a pretty big misstep for a villain, because it's really like villain and hero dynamics are a big thing, so it's almost kind of a waste of the. Well, okay, no, I shouldn't say that because they do interact at one point at least.
Yeah, well, yeah, even then, largely they just haven't interacted at all.
Yeah, but it wasn't until like really, really late in that they started getting that explanation of about how the countries all worked, and I found that really.
Which, as I was saying, I still don't entirely understand what the Marquis trying to do.
Something about overthrowing the governments of the planet. It's really badly explained.
Yeah, it's like, okay, spoilers here.
Oh shit.
He invited like a team of another nation to like some sort of peace treaty thing, and then went to talk to him. Immediately opened fire and killed him in broad daylight in front of a whole crowd of people. Then promptly appointed a replacement. Somehow hid knowledge that the teen had been murdered to make it sound like he'd run away, and then had the new guy immediately declare him a friend of the state. It's like you could have done all of this just by way of just legitimately doing the peace treaty thing.
This is kind of like if Hitler had called for a peace treaty with England, sailed over, had Winston Churchill shot in the streets of London, and then had Neville Chamberlain come up and say like, I am the new. God damn it, man. I got my brother here. I'm sorry. Yeah, like if Hitler had Winston Neville Chamberlain shot, and then had like whatever Oswald Mosley, whoever that, come like take the podium and say like, we are now allies with Nazi Germany. Like, I'm sorry about that, guys.
As I said, I don't really understand, because he pretty much already had this place conquered, and then he decided, like, no, I'm going to appoint this guy to declare us friends of the state so we can really conquer them later.
Yeah, I guess they could say it's to keep the population happy, but come on, they have to have known that you killed their king. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Like, I get this is a fantasy world, and there's probably no, like, 24-hour news cycle or shit like that, but
even if they're not aware that the teen is dead, they're still aware that this guy attacked him, and that's why the teen fled, as far as they know.
Yeah, like what? Wait, were they trying to say that it was like the fault of the shadow things?
No. They were saying something like, we showed up and exposed your king for the coward he is.
Yeah, that was it. Shit. If we're getting the details wrong, you can blame... I don't entirely think it's our fault, because I think this was very badly explained.
Yeah.
In particular, when it finally got to the point where they were actually explaining, like, what was going on with the like, how the countries worked, I remember immediately thinking, like, oh, god damn it, this cannot be the plot.
Yeah.
Because...
It does... There have been some signs that this whole Marquis thing is not the main plot. Like, there have been some signs of that, and I'm kind of hoping.
Yeah.
Like, I'm actually kind of really hoping.
Yeah, because this is a really boring plot. But then again, like, I feel bad saying this, because, like, when we got to like the last parts of the comic, I was genuinely curious what was going to happen.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard for me to badmouth the... It is kind of hard for me to badmouth the plot.
There's just enough of interest there, you know?
Yeah, I was interested. So maybe they were doing something right.
Yeah, it's like, don't get us wrong, like, none of it's... That's the thing, like, you'll notice with this comic, we haven't really been, like, bashing on it too much, just kind of pointing out little things about us.
Yeah.
Which, that's the thing with it, is just, I don't go into more of that later, it's just like, none of the plot missteps are that bad or anything. It's like, you're not gonna hear us ranting about, like, with, like, Misfile or Other Shive or something.
Yeah, the plots there are very badly handled.
Yeah. It's just, the plot does seem... I mean, to be fair, the comic is still relatively early in, but still, it does seem like... it seems like it's kind of starting to find its footing, but the villain... It'd probably even be just a better story if the villains made any more sense, or like, any better than they are.
Yeah. Yeah, because it does not work out. The plot is really confusing and boring.
And also shout out to Bad Girl, because I have to complain about how out of place she is.
Yeah, she's like, it's really like we said, on Earth she would probably work fine, not in the fantasy world.
Well, design-wise she'd work fine. Not so much with the slave on a chain who's constantly licking her boots.
Yeah, what was with that?
Yeah, I don't get that.
It's like she's not only like this slutty, like, kind of bad girl character, but she has like this sort of, just like, yeah, like you said, a slave, like a hunchback, ugly slave. Like we said, the character design on the villains is really bad. And so,
he doesn't even look like a hunchback. He just looks like some guy.
No, he had a hunchback. It was pretty noticeable for me.
Yeah, you notice it sometimes. A lot of the time you can't really see it. A lot of the time it just looks like a guy.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, can I lick your boots, mistress? Ah, like, you know, kind of slobbering and sort of like spineless. It felt really out of place.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it really doesn't fit with the rest of the comic's sense of humor at all.
No, it doesn't.
Because a lot of its comedy's like really like dry. Like
And you know, I'm open to the idea that the villain has like a different sense of, like, when you see the bad guys, like, they have a darker sense of humor. I can get into that, but it does not feel like it just doesn't. It feels like out of place. It's not even really that funny.
Yeah, it feels like something out of a different, like, genre. Like,
yeah.
And for the comedy, what?
Which, when you think about it, is a problem we have with a couple of different webcomics, honestly.
Yeah.
If you're curious, we're doing Alone at Crowd one day.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, that one is like a very triumphant example of like these stories are not the same. These are not the same comic. Why are you putting them together?
No. But yeah, shit.
But yeah, for some positives about the plot, though.
Like we said, I was really curious. It's hard for me to badmouth the plot that much when I was curious what was going to happen.
Yeah, some stuff does happen. Like, here's one thing about it. Nothing really seems to overstay its welcome.
Oh yeah, that's true. Like, the pacing is really good.
Yeah.
Which is something that, if you listen to some of our other podcasts, you know, like, we're fucking snobs about pacing.
Yeah, that tends to be our, like, most common complaint. Like that was about the entirety of the Misfile review.
Yeah. Like pacing is just we personally just find that we hate the pacing of webcomics a lot.
Yeah, either too fast or too slow.
Yeah, but the pacing on this is very good.
Yeah, it does. Nothing really feels too rushed or whatever, but at the same time, nothing feels like it's dragging. And honestly, actually, I'll throw this out there. For only being about 400 pages in all honesty, a lot has happened.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
Yeah. Without it being hard to follow or feeling rushed or anything. A lot has happened. A lot of progress has been made.
Yeah. Huh. It's very true.
Yeah.
I don't know if I even want to draw anyone else.
She's magically flipping you off.
God damn it. But the shit. There was something. Oh, one thing I did want to bring up about the plot, because this was really bothering me for. I don't even know if
filler?
What?
I said, is it that filler?
Oh no! We gotta talk about that. But no. The name of the comic is Shadowbinders, and for a long time, I have no idea what the fuck they called it that. I still don't even know if I understand it, because like you get the impression from that name that if it's about a fantasy world, it's gonna be kind of, at the very least, kind of. There's nothing shadowy about it. There's no really big scenes that take place at night. There's nothing really dark. I mean, the magic they do is not shadow related. It's why is it called Shadowbinders?
Yes, we have since seen some shadows that do appear to be, in a certain sense, binding people. They don't really still seem to be all that important.
Yeah, it's when the Marquis invades, some of his foot soldiers are these sort of shadowy monsters, or like these kind of shadow monster things that are inside suits of armor. So when you bust the armor,
and there was also that haunted ship.
Oh yeah, the haunted ship. So there are shadows, and they are kind of bound into the armor and onto the ship. But it's
and they were kidnapping people and stuff. Or something.
Yeah. So it's that's the title drop. But it doesn't seem that important. I mean, you would think Shadowbinding would be the name they give Ren's magic or something. It's not magic, it's Shadowbinding or something like that. It's not. Yeah. It feels really.
Yeah, it's a very non-indicative name.
Yeah, which I find I don't know why it bothers me this much. I watch a lot of anime, but which are kind of.
It does kind of feel with this talking about how much focus it has on the world it's in, which I cannot remember the name of offhand, but I know it's been mentioned.
Okay, I'll take your word on that.
Yeah, I recall it being brought up a time or two.
I
just don't remember it.
Whatever the fantasy world.
Yeah, it does feel like they should have just gone the Gaia route of naming it after the setting.
Yeah.
Which. This comic actually has quite a bit in common with Gaia, but we'll get to that whenever we do Gaia.
Yeah, we'll do Gaia at some point because we really like Sandra and Wu. But it's just it's not that dark. It's not. There's no reason for it to be called Shadowbinders. It seems like a really minor complaint, but it was really.
That's kind of why I have the feeling this whole nation war thing and the Marquis and stuff. I have the feeling those are not actually going to be that important.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe the Shadowbinders, that soldiers that they'll do, are will uprise or something.
Yeah, I have the feeling that's going to hijack the plot somehow.
Yeah, probably. I can only hope so, because it seems. And also on the point of we don't see those things until really far into it.
Yeah.
When they popped up, it was so minor. I'm just so is this why it's called Shadowbinder? I don't get it.
Yeah, related with the whole people disappearing thing, it's weird because they give that a lot of focus early on, and then they just kind of forget about it.
Yeah. And also, on the plot thing, it's about, the fantasy worlds, these warring nations and everything. I would have been perfectly fine if they had just kept it on the pirates going on adventures.
Yeah.
I think...
the kind of adds best whenever it's just doing that.
Yeah, flesh out their characters a little bit, and then just have it be about that. That'd be fun. The pirates are, sky pirates are cool.
Yeah, which also, that kind of reminds me of another old issue I had, which this is kind of minor, but it does kind of bug me.
Yeah?
Okay, it seems like the Marquis trying to pass himself as being the good guy to the populace and stuff.
Yeah.
And, that team just openly agreed to meet him with no reservations. But every character knows he's evil.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That really does bug me. That bugs me a lot in, like, a lot of stories, like offhand, Doctor Doom in the Marvel universe. Like, he's a king, and he's, like, powerful on the world stage. I was like, does no one think about the dethroning the dictator whose name is Victor Von Doom?
Yeah.
Like, how do, like, yeah, okay, they're the bad guys, but, like, if they're so obviously evil, how are they supposed to get any sort of political power?
Yeah.
To an extent, I sort of had the same problem with Lex Luthor in the DC universe. Like, yeah, he's, like, yeah, Superman can't pin any crimes on him, he always gets off, but, like, at the same point, all of his appearances are just like,
yeah.
Like, how is he supposed to have a positive public image, which he would have to have because he got elected president once?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like, I'm not against the idea of having, like, I kind of like the idea of having a villain with, like, a positive public image. I think it's kind of cool, but you have to sort of play the game a little bit.
Yeah, it's like, even though we said, like, none of the heroes really interact with him or, like, know of his plot for a while, that's true, but they still know who this guy is and know instinctively that he is evil.
Yeah, like, the Marquis wants to meet with the king, like, that man is evil, he'll kill the king. Like,
yeah.
What the hell, man?
Yeah, but yeah, on the whole, like, as I said, the plot, we are interested in seeing where it's going. We have enjoyed, like, chunks of it, so it does have some issues.
Yeah.
Which, do you want to move on then?
Yeah, I can't think of anything more to say about the plot. We already mentioned the problem with the website. The website takes up way too much memory. That's why I can't even surf it right now. I don't want to put the computer on too much.
Yeah, like, I've been having, like, anytime I haven't done any drives, I've been having to open it up, grab it, and then immediately close it.
Yeah. But yeah, should we mention, you can see it better than I can right now since you can actually go to the site. What's the story on the how many have they done in the last 6 months?
It's since, like, December 3rd or so, like, I forget the exact date, but it's, like, right at the start of December. There have been 15 pages and a cover.
And the covers are not exactly creative, by the way.
Yeah.
We praised The Watch, like, sort of, for having really creative covers.
Yeah, up until we actually kind of looked at them again.
Wait a second. Yeah, but yeah, like the original, like the covers here are literally just the title of the next chapter in white letters on solid black.
Yeah, it's and actually most recent the past few chapters haven't even had a title.
Yeah, it's like, why even have it?
Yeah.
Like, so, like, you don't need to devote an entire page to this. Like, just have the title on the start of the next on the start of the next chapter.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Which honestly, the schedule thing, it not updating too often doesn't really bother me that much. I mean, because it is at least it's still consistent. They're largely at least like there haven't really been any, like, 6-month gaps in updating or anything.
And like we said, the artwork for the world they create is amazing. Like, it does really look beautiful. I can understand why there's such a wait period between pages, given how nice this comic looks.
Yeah, which there isn't always a wait. Like, some pages actually go up, like, back-to-back days. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah.
It's just
sometimes it can be like a really long period between them.
Yeah, looking through the archive, there have been periods where it's been like a 2-month gap, 3-month gap, 1-month gap, something like that.
Damn. It's like, yeah, so, yeah, I can understand why it can take a while just because of how good the artwork is, and I'm sure, personal issues probably don't help.
Yeah, but what bothers me is the fact that it doesn't have a consistent date it updates.
Yeah.
Like, it's all over the map.
Yeah, it's just like, you just check in a month, and maybe it will have updated, and maybe it will have updated a couple of times. Like, you have to give people an expectation about when to come back.
Yeah, like, it updated, I think it last updated on the 6th or so, which see, they're doing a little dat thing because it's been 10 days.
Yeah.
And that was like, I didn't even see it until like the 9th because I had like no idea of when to expect it to update.
Yeah, and this is kind of a personal problem for us because we work really hard to make sure that our comics go up on time.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're not exactly we're not terribly forgiving about other comics that fail to do that.
I'm okay with them like not being able to update every week or something, but it's just like if
at least let us know.
Yeah, it's just like if you finish your comic on Friday or something, and you typically update on Monday, then well, okay, that's not bad though. If you finish your comic on Saturday and you typically update on Monday, just wait and post it Monday.
Yeah. At least try to keep to a schedule. It's just, yeah, I know life gets in the way, but give people some expectation about what's going on.
Yeah, it's like that's one thing to say about Eerie Cuties. Whenever we did it, it's like for all its schedule update or schedule problems lately, there's been a time or two it's kind of bled over into Thursday, but they've mostly stuck to Wednesday.
Yeah, yeah. Like if it does update, it'll update on Wednesday because that's when it normally comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a minor thing that really does annoy us.
Yeah. It makes it kind of hard to follow the comic, which I guess that would. I don't know. Should we go ahead and set it into conclusions then, or?
Yeah, I can't think on. I keep thinking there's something else I want to say, but I can't think of anything.
Yeah. Which, I think for the fact that we're talking about the update schedule and all this, whenever we were saying we started reading this just for the purposes of the comic, should kind of give you at least a general idea of what we think.
Yeah. Like again, I am very touched that the author wanted our opinion. I'm almost kind of afraid that to not do this again because I keep wondering like, oh, what if they don't like? Well, what if we get another requested comic and we think it sucks?
Yeah. Same. Which don't get me wrong, it's a flawed comic. We've been enjoying it.
Yeah,
quite a bit. We are continuing to read it.
Yeah, I'm gonna like whenever it does update again, I'm gonna check it out. I am curious what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
For all the problems that we had with it, I still had a good time. I still really enjoyed reading it, and also, I kind of like I'm kind of noticing that for whenever we have to read a comic for the purposes of this podcast, it is kind of fun just trying to figure out what we're going to say about it.
Yeah.
I just think, oh, that's good. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, because really the only times we've done that so far are this and Night Fighter, which both were...
that's the only time you've done this. I had to do it for...
Oh, yeah, right, you did it for Venus Envy.
And I'm...
Yeah, and you're doing it for Gunner Creek Court.
Well, I started out doing it for Gunner Creek Court, but then I just enjoyed it so much that I'm just like... I can't even keep those thoughts straight.
Yeah.
also for Gunner Creek Court, it's just so fucking long.
Yeah.
If I had to catalog everything I wanted to bring up, I would have lost count like a while ago.
Yeah, that one's probably going to be a lengthy one.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's mostly going to be us gushing.
Yeah. Which... Yeah, see, I will have something to say about it, which, yeah, I guess should probably expect that one next, then.
Yeah, probably should, because yeah.
I just, depending on when we get to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't...
Yeah, it might be next. Next might be.
What the hell am I doing?
Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of wondering if they didn't want to say anything.
Yeah, I'm just like, what? They're not a separate layer. I don't need to prep it. Fuck.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking like, well, maybe he has a reason to be doing it.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm just bored. I don't want to draw. I don't have time to draw anyone else.
You did draw Winston?
No. Again, like Winston is kind of. Hang on, I mentioned Bone earlier.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'm just gonna show you what I mean. It is basically just a universe where like a Lord of the Rings fantasy is taking place, and it's guest starring, like it's kind of being seen through the eyes of like some sort of DuckTales Disney characters that sort of wandered into it. Can't find any really good pictures of like sort of. Yeah, that's a pretty good image. It's way too tiny, but never mind.
Yeah.
If I could send you that entire book, I probably would, because it's really good.
All right then.
Like if it were a webcomic, I'd be immediately badgering you to read it for the podcast.
All right then. But yeah, on the whole, like, yes, it has issues, and yes, you should be aware of them, and yes, you should have something to block Flash if you're going to read it, or you should at least have like a pretty good computer.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck was wrong with that site.
Yeah, but yes, I would recommend reading it.
Yeah, I would recommend it too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess we're doing Guna Creek next. I think we have a couple of other comics that people have requested, which we might look into. I also really want to do Alone at Crowd.
Nets will probably be either Alone at Crowd or Drunk Record, depending on when we do it.
Yeah. Because and depending on how fast I read Guna Creek Core, because I've still got 1 second. There's only 200 pages left to read. No, one.
Yeah.
Wait. Is it 1,500 or 1,400?
They just hit 1,500.
Okay, 1,500 pages. Wait. But yeah, I only have 200 more pages.
Yeah.
Long.
Oh, you're coming up on one you've been looking forward to.
Mort?
Yeah.
Aww. I love Mort. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's the next chapter.
Massive spoiler for Drunk Record right there on the front.
Oh shit, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can't think of anything of shit. Wait. Yeah, I can't think of anything else to. Yeah, so probably Guna Creek Corridor or Alone at Crowd.
Yeah. I keep kind of wanting to do Menage a Trois, but probably not immediately because we can't just did Eerie Cuties. So.
Yeah, Eerie Cuties was the last episode, and we will do Menage a Trois at some point. Probably look into doing another request because I do want to do it because I did really enjoy doing this purely because it was a request. It did feel really neat.
Actually, more I'm thinking about, I think Nets I want to do Alone at Crowd.
Okay, cool.
Because, yeah,
you got a lot to say about that one.
Yeah, that one is one. Like, if you haven't read it, it's a very unique problem among webcomics.
Like we've had we've spotted problems with it here and there before, but this took it to like the nth degree.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to spoil that one or not. I don't. I'm just saying, like, it's just
We'll gush about it.
At the same time, the comic does still have a lot of like genuinely really good things about it, which is what makes it weird.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah. On the whole, though, yeah, Shadowbinders. I would read it.
Really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Which, as we said, it has its fair share of problems. You're probably gonna take some grievances with it reading through it, but like I said, it's enjoyable, and I think you can very clearly see it getting better.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Good night, everyone.